Right. Okay, good evening and welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all Illinois students, sponsored by the Illinois Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. I want to thank you all for joining us today. I just want to give you guys a few housekeeping items before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenter at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. That's use the Q&A function. This is one of a few different sessions still available this week, so please go to IACAC.org for a full schedule. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website, IACAC.org. And also any additional sessions you weren't able to go to throughout these past few weeks, they're also available on the website for you to view as well. And now I'll turn everything over to our presenter. Thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome to my session. My name is Paloma Roman and I'm presenting today about Kansas State University, but I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen for you guys real quick. All right, awesome. So like I said, my name is Paloma. Very excited to get to talk to you more about K-State, if you're familiar with it, if you're not familiar with it. But I graduated from K-State myself in May of 2019 with my degree in athletic training and a minor in kinesiology. So I recently, I would say, I guess in the last 5-6 years, I was in the same position you were, looking for a college. So I knew, the college search was going to be focused on what was going to be my best fit, location, atmosphere. Those were just some of my college factors. But at the end of the day, I really enjoyed K-State. And I'm originally from Garden City, Kansas, which is 4 hours away from the university. And I wasn't really sure where I was going to go either. There were a lot of options, especially in my state and in the surrounding areas. But I knew I wanted to leave my hometown and find a place where I could have that college experience, but also develop and grow into who I wanted to be, especially as a leader. And K-State did not only make that possible, but they also helped me excel, not only in the classroom, but also outside as well, and being able to become the confident person I am today. So I hope this session gives you a little bit more insight about what Kansas State University can do for you. All right, so if you're not very familiar, Kansas State University is a large public research institution, and it's located in one of the top 3 college towns in the nation. So we are located in Manhattan, Kansas, also known as the Little Apple. But we are a Division I school in the Big 12. So if you have been watching football, we have been playing. So we just played, I want to say 2 weeks ago, we won, and we're playing our hometown rivals this weekend. So that'll be an exciting game to watch. But we have over 16 different Division I sports that we get to watch. When I was there, I really enjoyed going to football games because I got to be, right there in the 50-yard line, or basketball games were a lot of fun, being in the half-court line. But also I got to go to volleyball games, baseball games. It was really a blast to get to see our students, but also be a fan there. But just some other quick facts about Kansas State University, if you're not familiar with it. We have a population of about 22,000 students. About 18,000 of those are going to be our undergraduates, so mainly undergraduate students. We have an 18-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. So although that 22,000 might sound like a larger number, you still won't just be, another face on campus. You're going to be able to meet your professors, and also, but most importantly, they're going to get to meet you and get to know you and get to know more about what you want out of your academics. And then also just some other fast facts. So Princeton Review, we came out as the #1 happiest students in the nation, as well as #4 for best town gown relations, and then #3 for best health services. And we also have the #1 highest starting salary for the state in the state of Kansas. But one of my favorite things to talk about is our 97% graduation placement rate. So that means that 97% of our students are either continuing their education or landing that job within those 6 months after graduation. But if you've never been to Manhattan, I can also talk more about where we're located. So physically, the campus, we have beautiful limestone buildings. Campus is a large square rectangle. It probably takes 10 to 15 minutes to walk across it. You can't walk across it without not seeing someone you already know. But the town as well, it is very K-State focused. So the community is very, like I mentioned, that #4 for best town gown relation, it is very supportive of the community. So on game days, you go to Walmart, everyone's wearing purple, or there's different events, especially for homecoming, the whole community comes out for the parade, things like that. But some of my favorite things to do in Manhattan as a student myself was get to check out our lake. Obviously, Lake Michigan is not as big as Lake Michigan. We have smaller lakes in the area where students still get to go kayaking, camping, like float trips. I know a lot of my friends did that. Another thing was going out to the Konza Prairie if you like hiking or trails. I used to go up there to go see the sunset because I was not a morning person. So you can also go see the sunrises if that's what you so choose to do. But there was some phenomenal nature available to see. But then in the city, I also really enjoyed getting to go to our entertainment district. It's called Aggieville. I went to our coffee shops, so our local coffee shops, because I became such a coffee drinker in college, and also got to meet friends there to do group projects, things like that. And then we had some local restaurants that were really fun to eat at. So just some local coffee shops and eatery were also a part of my experience there. But there was a lot to do. And I can also talk more about that as I talk about my experience and what your experience can be there as a student. But to dive into it a little bit more, we can talk about how are you going to get to K-State, or what's the location look like. So from Chicago, there is a direct flight to Manhattan, Kansas. The airport's about 10 minutes away from the campus, so that would be a really great way to get to visit back home if you're from the Chicago or Illinois area. I think it's about a 9-hour drive or so, a little bit more, a little bit less. So that's kind of what you're thinking about as far as travel. But you can always meet people that are from the area and get to carpool or go together. But it's a neat place if you're looking for that college experience and get to be a part of a Power 5 school, or a Power 5 conference. Sorry. But yeah, some of the things that Manhattan has to offer and where it's located. All right, so let's get into the more important stuff, which is academics. So what are you wanting to study? What is your K-State experience going to look like as far as academics? But I will go ahead and click on this and show you a little bit more if you want to explore on your own time. But so K-State has over 250 different majors and programs and over 50 different minors. So I know that for me, I had to really do my research and try to figure out what I wanted to do, what were my passions. And like I said, I mentioned I studied athletic training, but during my time at K-State, I really figured out by being involved and by meeting the people I did, my mentors, that I was really passionate about working with students in college. And so that's why now I'm an admissions representative, to get to work with other students as they discover, what are they going to study? What does college look like? What is that story going to be for me? But finding your major, so we have this page that I just clicked on. You can reach it by going to k-state.edu/academics. There's different ways to really see what's available for you. So right away, if you think you know exactly what you want to do, you can click on the degrees. So this will give you all of our different degree programs that we have. And we do have master's and doctorate programs as well. So you can always narrow it down on this side. So you want to be in Manhattan if you're thinking about Manhattan campus, but we do have other campuses. So our Polytechnic or our Technology and Aviation, if you're thinking about being a professional pilot program, that's there. And then we also have on online degrees, and then on the Latha campus, which is in person, but more of master programs as well. But then you would go on undergrad, and then just thinking on what you're interested in. So say that you might be interested in, let's just go with a fun one. If I see anyone, chemical engineering, why not? So you want to do your degree in chemical engineering. So it will tell you a little bit more about what might it look like if you decide to be a chemical engineering student. So what classes might you look at? So you can look at the undergraduate catalog. If you want to further education, what can you do with that? And then, different career paths that you would get with that chemical engineering. And then more about the college and different involvement that you can do as you do that. So that's one way to look at searching for academics. So seeing the breakdown of what that specific degree is going to look like. If we go back, you can also explore by interest area. So maybe you know that you want to work with people, or you want to work in the health field, or you want to be in science and mathematics, or anything like that. So then you can click on, let's see, communications, media, and marketing. Maybe that's something that interests you. So you can look at what might be a good fit for you. So are you a strong communicator, or do you like to write, or you're a self-starter? Different things that might be some of your characteristics as a person or as your interests. So again, I would go narrow it down. And then here are different options in that area. So maybe you want to study, so different minors in here as well, but maybe you want to study or get your bachelor's in marketing. So again, you went there because you were interested in media or marketing, and then it would give you a breakdown of what that might look like, what courses you're going to take, things like that. But another option as well is maybe you're not sure at all what you want to do. I know choosing a major is a really, really big decision. And even though students sometimes choose a major at the beginning, they often change their major as well, because it's a big decision, and it's good to really feel it out and see if that those classes that you're taking are really going to be what you're truly interested in. So if you're not really sure, you can also do the option to just explore your options. And that is basically you can opt to be in it up to 2 years or 64 different credit hours. And with that, you can take career assessments, take different classes that are going to help you decide on a major and explore different careers. But at the same time, you would have an advisor that not only is going to allow you to kind of see your different options, but make sure that you're taking academically safe classes so that you're still able to graduate in however long you're wanting to graduate, whether that's 4 years, 5 years, whatever that looks like for you. But you do have an advisor that's going to help you keep you on track for whatever that might be. So then you can explore from there what different majors, getting to talk to the Career Center. That's where, when I was trying to choose a major, that's where I also went to take a different career aptitude test. But yeah, so a little bit about how to explore the different majors. But I mentioned there are 250 different majors and programs, and I can talk a little bit more about those as well and what that might look like. So for K-State, we have 9 different academic colleges that it's broken down into. So maybe it's by cluster or interest area. But so for our College of Arts and Sciences, this is actually our largest college at K-State. This one is going to house a lot of our interdisciplinary courses. So every student will probably take a class from this college at some point, because they have anything from biology to math to journalism to political science, kind of those, anything under the sun. So this is our College of Arts and Sciences. But in this college, there's a ton of research opportunities that are available in basically every department. And there's also a way to create, better relationships with that professor. And then we want to encourage our undergraduate students to do research. So they actually offer a $1,000 grant for students that are wanting to develop their own research project. And as the largest college at K-State, it is the most diverse and prides themselves in opening that conversation about diversity and inclusion. So they want to focus on meeting students where they're at and inviting to have those difficult conversations, as they have a diversity summit every year. So it's our College of Arts and Sciences. And then we also have our College of Engineering. So that's known for being one of the most comprehensive programs in the Midwest, and it has 12 undergraduate degrees with over 60 different specializations to really get to customize and personalize that experience. All those programs are going to be jam-packed with research and competition teams to get that real life experience and hands-on. That way that you can really experience what that major might look like. Speaking of those competition teams, I know one of the competition teams that I've heard of is the concrete canoe, where they build literally a canoe out of concrete, and they'll go to competition and compete with other schools. And they make them do different things with the canoe, but making sure, it floats and all the engineering things it takes to build it and make sure that it does what it needs to do. But they also do things like with Chem E-Car, where they build like a little robot and then when they get to the competition, they want it to do certain movements, but they have to do chemical reactions to try to make that happen. So a lot of hands-on and competition teams that you can be a part of. But the College of Engineering has alumni in all over the 50 states and 84 different countries, and it's unmatched with possibilities to get to connect with different mentors and network with corporate partners and things like that. So that is our Carl R. Ias College of Engineering. And then we have also our College of Business. So our College of Business is one of the only 10% of schools to hold the highest accreditation in the world for all business and accounting programs. And we're consistently rated by employers as one of the top colleges or businesses to hire from. College of Businesses to hire from, sorry. Our business school is a direct admit program. So once you gain admission to K-State, you're in, from day one. So there are a lot of resources specifically within this college as well. So our executive mentor program, where you can be paired with someone that has had at least 7 years of experience in that industry. So you want to connect with someone that has done accounting, or you want to connect with someone that has done sales, things like that, to really get to connect and see what K-State has done for them, but what they're doing now as well. And they also have a nationally recognized career center specific to business programs. They have different career accelerator courses, and they also have in-house tutoring services for those business degrees. But yeah, so the College of Business also emphasizes a lot on hands-on learning through different opportunities, different classes. So they have a stock class and a stock portfolio where it's $1.6 million with real-time trading that students are a part of, or different competitive team experiences like our international winning sales team, and then labs that they get to be a part of. So that is a little bit about our College of Business. And then we have our College of Education. So if you're interested in being, secondary or elementary ed teacher, this is a great place to go. So K-State, your education just goes beyond learning the subject. Our students that are in this college will develop soft skills and gain that professional development and gain that hands-on field experience as well for their first years at K-State. So you get to be in the classroom pretty early on, and you get to teach with a variety of populations. So maybe a small school, a larger school. We also have a military base close by, if that's like another place you wanted to teach by. But students are definitely ready and equipped to work in different and diverse environments. And there's a lot of technology innovations in our College of Education that allow our students to really be adaptable to online learning, which we learned quickly to adapt to with everything that's going on. And they really do help with earning your teaching license outside the state of Kansas. And we even take advantage of some international student teaching opportunities. So a little bit about that. All right, and then another college is our College of Agriculture. This houses actually some of the most unique and strong programs in the College of Ag. So like bakery science, ag communications, golf course management, and then 8 out of the 16 programs in this college have a 100% placement rate. And 97% of our grads are locking those jobs immediately following their senior year. The really cool thing is all their facilities are really close to campus, so within a few miles, so maybe like the research mills, the flour mills, things like that. So it's easy to walk over to class to do your research in the labs or the fields. And a lot of the faculty members are doing research at this point. So you're taking classes from specialists in the separate fields of ag studies. But the College of Ag is ranked number 46 in the world. All right, another college is the College of Health and Human Sciences. This is actually the college I graduated for. Or I graduated from. It's perfect just for someone who might not know what they want to do yet, but they know that they want to work with people. So I think our slogan was something like, in a world focused on things, we focus on people first, something like that. So if you're a people person, this could definitely be your college. This houses a lot of different majors from education base, like faculty or family and consumer science to early childhood education, or maybe some more design and business programs like personal financial planning or fashion studies or health-based. So I did athletic training or nutrition or dietetics, different things like that. So if you're wanting to work with people and those programs sound appealing, that is also something you can be a part of. But there are so many things that have this or are in this college, just again, emphasizing that experiential learning opportunities in different labs. I know a lot of my classes were lab-based, so it was really great to learn in class, but also put that into play, especially as you're learning a lot of hands-on things and then preparing that for like the real world. And then another college is our College of Architecture, Planning, and Design. So Design Intelligence actually continuously ranks K-State architecture as one of the top 12 places to hire from, and its individual programs as being in the top 10 in the nation. So all of our architecture degrees are 5-year master's programs. So when you're looking at scholarships, those will actually cover all 5 years in this program. They have an incredible facility. They just built it not too long ago, and every student has their own personal space and studios, and they really get a chance to learn about each other and learn about being creative and being that architecture that they want to do or want to be. But there's a lot of different pathways in that college. A lot of my friends were a part of this college, and some of the stuff they did was so incredible. I actually think this picture down here might be, I think, the College of Architecture in their studio space. I'm not sure though, but yeah, there's really, really cool learning opportunities, and they're so creative and so artsy, and it's a great college to be a part of as well. And then I know earlier I mentioned our Polytechnic College or our College of Technology and Aviation. It's about an hour from Manhattan, so this is going to be a different campus, but they house one of the biggest diverse fleets with over 40 different aircraft. So if you're wanting to be a pilot, this is a great opportunity to take advantage of. It's an FAA accredited, which means that students only need to have 1,000 flight hours to become certified versus 1,500 hours, as some other schools might have. But students are saving time and lots of money because the runway is on campus, and students have lab and hands-on class experiences as well. So we got to tour this when I went to this campus, and they had a really cool simulation lab. So like a pilot simulation it looked like you were flying. But also the instructors and trainers are top notch, and they continue to win great awards. I think the chief flight instructor just won the FFA's Master Award, which is given to less than 1% of the pilots in the world. So you know that you're learning from the best of the best. And then finally, I want to touch base just on our vet med program. So our veterinary medicine school, if anybody wants to be a vet, K-State does have a program, and it's considered one of the best programs for vet med in the exotic animal field. And then K-State graduates are really, ready, they're practice ready to be veterinarians and working with different, so large, small, and even exotic animals. For high school seniors, there is the early admit program. If you're interested, this is a highly selective option for students, and it guarantees you a spot in the vet med school, like if you're accepted. So this will allow you to start your vet med journey after your third year at K-State. So if you know that you want to do vet med, you have great grades, have been involved in vet med opportunities, this could be one of the things that you might be looking at if you're thinking about vet med. But while you're an undergrad, students have the ability to be connected through undergraduate research opportunities, things like that. So Manhattan is also known as the Silicon Valley for our bio and agro defense, because we do have in close proximity NBAF, which is part of I think it's National Bio Agronomy or Defense, but it's kind of like the CDC for animals or ag. But vet med students will have the opportunity to hear and learn from some of the top researchers in the world. So I hope that wasn't too much information about academics. I just want to make sure to let you know about all our different options if you're thinking about choosing a degree or a pathway at K-State. But again, like I mentioned before, we do have over 50 different minors, so you can take the opportunity to customize what you really want to get out of that degree and out of your time at K-State to land that dream job. And there's a lot of ways to get that help. But I will go ahead and continue on the other side of things, which is still really, really important. And that is what is your life at K-State going to look like, or what are some of the opportunities? So I know when I went to K-State, like I mentioned earlier, I know I wanted to grow as a leader and become just a well-rounded individual and be ready for a job after graduation. So in high school, I was involved in things, but I was never like the president or a treasurer or a part of the exec team, but K-State really gave me the confidence to be involved. So when I was in my undergrad, I was part of the Student Governing Association, which is one of our really big organizations on campus. I kind of like to compare it to Student Council, but on a bigger platform. And I ran for student body president. I was also involved with some of our multicultural student organizations. So the Hispanic American Latino organization, as well as the Manhattan Magazine, which is a lifestyle and fashion magazine. It was just something that it wasn't with my major. Of course, I was like in the health field, but I really enjoyed being creative. So it was really cool that I still got to be a part of a club and organization that I could enjoy my hobbies to be a part of. But I know that there's a lot to be involved in high school, as well as wanting to get involved in college. But some of the things that we offer are undergraduate research, as I emphasized a ton during the academic session. We often think, a lot of times we think that undergraduate research is just being in a lab coat in a lab, looking in a microscope, but it doesn't have to be that way. There's all kinds of ways to learn more about undergraduate research. And like I said, a lot of our professors are already doing research, so you could easily get connected quickly with them and get to learn more about that and get to start your own project as it comes to research. And then I mentioned being involved in different clubs and organizations. So we have over 500 clubs and organizations. Some of those are going to be more academic based. So maybe you want to be a part of the business ambassadors if you're in the College of Business, or the pre-PA club or pre-PT club or things like that. But there's also some there for fun or for community. So I mentioned the Student Governing Association. If you really want to see what's going on in college and you want to have a voice at the table and get to represent your university, that's a great way to be involved. And there's also some fun ones. So skydiving club, Harry Potter club, art club, just a lot of ways to keep you busy and make sure that you're getting a great experience while you're at college. And then the other side of things that students really get to enjoy at K-State is our athletics. So I mentioned earlier, we are in the Big 12 Conference. And so here's just a picture of a game day pre-COVID, of course. And this is, if you can see here, this is where the students get to sit at. So it's really great that not only we go to a college where we enjoy sports, but we get to enjoy them in a great seat and spot to get to cheer on the Cats. And that was one of my favorite things to do as well. And then if you are interested in fraternity and sorority life, K-State does have that available for its students. We also have 8 out of the 9 Divine Nine, which are historically Black sororities and fraternities. And then we have 2 Hispanic and 2 Hispanic sororities and 2 Hispanic fraternities. So Really, there's a place for anyone at K-State to be a part of undergraduate research, athletics, organizations, and say there's not an organization you want to be a part of, you find 4 other people and can make your own organization. So there's definitely a lot to do at K-State, and you can definitely try to picture what life as a Wildcat might be like for you. All right, so if you are thinking about K-State and you want to be a part of the K-State family, here's a little bit more about some next steps. So our residence halls. We have 10 different residence hall options. You can live from 2 to 4 people, however you choose to do it. You can learn more about it by going to K-State Housing and Dining, to our Explore Your Options page. That's going to give you virtual tours of what might those different rooms look like. Because like I said, there's a lot of different options for you to choose from. But if you're thinking about it, you are a K-Stater, you've already been admitted, you can fill out our interest form that opened on September 15th. That's just like raising your hand like, hey, I might be interested in going to K-State and living in those residence halls. And then our housing contract. So this is an important date. December 7th is when our housing contract will open. Basically, it's a first come, first served process where the earlier you complete that contract, then the earlier in late April or May that you'll get to sign up for housing. So December 7th is definitely a date that you want to remember. Once it opens, you can sign up. And then the earlier you finish it, then the earlier you'll get to choose where you want to live and get that first pick. But if you are from Illinois, maybe you're not familiar with someone that's going to go to K-State, you can always find a roommate by using this platform called RoomSync. It's K-State's Match.com, if you want to call it. Definitely find some people that you want to live with that you might be more compatible with, or maybe are from the area, or you want to find someone that's more of a local. So really up to you. And this is a great opportunity, like I said, to get to meet some people to become your roommate while you're at K-State. And K-State does not require at the moment to live on campus, but a lot of our incoming freshmen, if not most of our incoming freshmen, will live on campus. I always say go ahead and live on campus because first of all, it's very close to all the buildings that you're gonna go to class to. So if you wake up 10 minutes before class, just run to class and you'll make it. But also it's a really great place to meet your friends and build that community. So I know a lot of people that live in the residence halls will make friends with like their hallmates, and they'll get dinners on Sunday together, or they'll make intramural teams together, things like that. So definitely a great opportunity. So don't forget to sign up and finish your housing contract if you're wanting to live on campus. All right, so another really important thing to talk about for K-State is our scholarships and our financial aid. How are you going to afford K-State? How are you going to cover your costs? So we have our general university scholarships. So basically we don't have a separate application for our general university scholarships. Those are going to be merit-based. And so if you apply before December 1, you can be eligible. All we need is your GPA and your test scores. At the moment, I know they're developing a test optional option for scholarships, but that hasn't been finalized yet. So at the moment, we still ask you to have your GPA and your test scores sent to K-State. We also do super scores, so if you've taken multiple, go ahead and send those our way. But if you apply before December 1 and say you don't have a test score, but you're maybe planning on taking one next semester or anything like that, we will be taking test scores for scholarships up until April 30th of next year. So April 30th, 2020, you can still send your test scores up until that date. And then we also have another opportunity for students, and it's the K-State Scholarship Network, also known as the KSN. That one's not due until March 15th, but you can start completing it now. But this is a really good way to figure out some scholarships. And then I'm gonna go ahead and show you what you might see as far as scholarships. So getting to see some K-State scholarships, you can scroll and you'd be like, I am from Illinois, I'm a freshman, and I want to go to the Manhattan campus. And here you can go ahead and select your GPA. So maybe you have a 3.4 GPA and you have a 27 ACT. Also, we have scholarships for students whose parent or grandparent has gone to K-State. So say you don't have any, then you can participate and be a part of our Midwest Student Exchange program. But this is just one of many. So again, this is just going to be depending on that ACT score as well as that GPA. But this is a good way to find those general university scholarships that I was talking about. But with the KSN, again, that's going to be the catch-all of every other scholarship for K-State. One thing that I really enjoyed about this scholarship application was that it was not only for incoming students, but also as current students as well. So I know I filled this out every year, and it was great because I would find new opportunities with whatever my involvement was with my academics, and I did that all through the K-State Scholarship Network. And then another thing that's available for you, even if you decide not to go to K-State, is the Fafsa, or the free application for federal student aid. That already opened on the 1st of October, and we ask you to turn it into K-State if you're thinking about it by December 1. So if you've learned anything, December 1 and December 7th, December 1, you want to learn for applying. And then our cost of attendance, so our out-of-state costs are probably around $37,000, and that's based on tuition, fees, room and board. Again, this number will vary depending on how many classes you take, what college you're a part of, what rooming and board situation you choose, your meal plan, things like that. So definitely just keep in mind that this number will change, and this number is based off total cost with no scholarships. So of course, we're hoping that any of these things will help bring that cost down. But I want to dive a little bit deeper into like the Midwestern Exchange that I just mentioned earlier. So the Midwest is awarded to any students, and I want to point out from Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, North Dakota, Ohio, or Wisconsin. But if you're from the state of Illinois, which I hope you are, or any of the surrounding states, to become eligible for this program, you need to have a minimum of 3.25 high school GPA and either a 22 or an 1100 SAT, and you'll get to pay 150% of in-state tuition. And you're like, what does that even mean? It's about an $11,000 reward every year, so it is projected to be about $44,000 during your time there. But you can also be considered for add-on awards. So you can qualify for, say, that $11,000 a year, and then depending on if you have a higher GPA and a higher ACT, so say you have a 3.7 and you had a 28 ACT or a 13.10 SAT, then you would also not only qualify for that $11,000 reward, but then the $3,000 on top of it. Again, this $11,000 reward is just an average because it's based on the tuition. It will be based on how many credit hours you choose to take. So that's a really great program for our students, and I hope that that's something that you look at and to take advantage of. All right, so I know I've talked a lot about K-State and all the different opportunities and my experience while I was there, but if you are thinking about K-State and haven't applied yet, you want to make sure to apply now. So it's been open, and our priority date again is at December 1. If anything, I hope that you remember that. But test scores are not needed for admission, so we are test optional for admissions, but they are needed for scholarships. And then I mentioned earlier, we do super score for both admissions and scholarships. So to be admitted into the university, you need to have at least a 3.25 high school GPA, a 21 ACT, or a 1060 SAT. So one of the three. And if you've taken any dual credit, we just ask that you've gotten a 2.0 GPA in college for college credit. And you also want to check out if you have taken any college credit, we have a transfer tool online where you can plug in maybe that community college you took it from, what classes, and then it will show you what it will transfer as to K-State. And say if it's not on there, all you would have to do is submit your syllabus for that class, and then we would evaluate it and see what you would get credit for at K-State. So also a good way to know what classes might look like and what you might be taking while you're at K-State. So I hope that you take the time to apply as soon as I'm done with this presentation, if you haven't already. But definitely take the time to visit, connect with me as your admissions rep, and apply. So you can come see K-State. So we are hosting in-person visits on Monday, or I guess every weekday except for Tuesdays. But if you're not able to visit campus in person, we also have virtual visits on Tuesdays. So that Tuesday is reserved for virtual visits. During your campus visit or virtual visit, you're going to be able to talk to someone like myself. So an admissions representative, that's going to be, the direct connection to the university, going to help you through the application process or just, exploring campus. And then you would also get to talk with academics. So if you're interested in, in a certain college, you can also get to chat with them and learn more about their specific programs and see what that might look like, as well as getting to take a campus tour. So you can do that in person or virtually. And then I am also super excited to be here as your admissions representative. I just moved to the area in July, so filling out Chicago and trying to learn more, but I would love to connect and know what you want out of your college experience, get to see how I can connect you to K-State. But again, my name is Paloma, and you can reach me by emailing kstate9@k-state.edu or calling 785-532-1521. And then I also host individual one-on-one sessions. So say that this time you only got to join, but the next time you want your parents to join, or you have some questions or anything like that, you can definitely sign up for one of my one-on-one 30-minute sessions. by going to calendly.com/meetarpaloma. So that's a great way for me to get to connect with you. Again, if you have any questions or just needs any clarification, you can email this right here. And then again, go ahead and apply. You can apply on our native app by going to this website, but I know a lot of students, out-of-state students, use the Common App, so we're also on the Common App, so that's something that you can use. But thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you learned a little bit more about K-State and have applied or are admitted, and I really hope to get to connect one-on-one with you and get to know you as you navigate your college search process this year. But thanks for being here.
All right. I don't know if there's any questions at all for Paloma, but if there are, you can submit them in the chat.
Yep, if you have any questions, go ahead and use that Q&A, and I'll see if I get any questions. Like I said, if not, if you don't want to ask any questions or you have a big list you want to send me, just go ahead and email that kstate9@k-state.edu, and I will get back to you.
We'll give it a second.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure they're trying to process the information because I did give a lot of information.
That's how it goes.
If anything, go Cats, right?
All right, well, I'm gonna share my closing screen here, just so you know that you will receive a quick survey after you leave the session today, and then you can sign up for additional sessions on the IACAC.org website. You also can view recordings of other schools, including this one if you want to see it again, also on the IACAC website as well. So if you have any other questions, thank you so much for joining us, and we will hopefully connect with you sometime soon. Bye-bye.